So, welcome back to Tales Tomorrow. I am Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me I have some RPG horror stories of various different variety. Looking forward to reading them together. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. The dude was ever cursed on his righteous path of excellence. Imagine a character, a paladin in shining armor named Seraph, who embodied the spirit of the dude from The Big Lebowski. He was righteous, encouraging others to be excellent to each other, and radiated a coolness that was unrivaled. Armed with the power of his faith, Seraph stepped into the world crafted by our DM, eager to inspire and uplift his companions. But alas, the fate had a twisted sense of humor, and our DM seemed determined to test Seraph's mettle. Curses began to plague him. Curses that seemed specifically tailored to destroy his ability to fulfill his role and embrace the character he had crafted. First, it was his charisma that suffered. The once magnetic aura that drew people toward Seraph transformed into something repellent and unappealing. No longer could he inspire others with his charm and wit. Instead, his presence drove people away. It was a blow to Seraph's very identity, for he believed in the power of kindness and compassion. Then came the physical afflictions. Seraph's handsome features twisted and contorted, transforming him into a grotesque mockery of his former self. It was as if his very visage reflected the torment within, a reminder of the curse that haunted him. How could he bring hope to others when he himself had become a specter of despair? I'm assuming that what's happening, this is clearly flavored. Clearly the amount of writing and eloquence were actually really well put together, but I'm assuming what's happening is a player is playing as the paladin, Seraph, acting as the dude from The Great Lebowski, or The Big Lebowski. The Big Lebowski. I never seen the film, so I don't actually know who the dude really is, unfortunately. But I'm assuming what's happening is that the DM is doing something to the player, either because the player did something in return, and it's like a cause and effect, like player did something and our DM is like saying, okay, well now you have this. Or maybe the player just having too much fun and the DM is ruining the fun. It's really difficult to tell where the story is going, but let's keep on reading. But the cruelest blow of all was the stifling of his roleplay potential. Every time Seraph tried to embody the dude and spread a message of positivity and camaraderie, his words fell flat, lacking the resonance and impact they once possessed. The DM seemed intent on smothering any attempt at roleplay, leaving Seraph with a profound sense of frustration and helplessness. Amidst the sea of despair, Seraph found solace in combat. His divine smites and blessings were still potent, and through the sword, he found an outlet for his righteous fury. In battle, he remained formidable, striking down evil with unwavering determination. But outside of combat, his spirit languished, his character confined to a mere shadow of his original vision. It was a harrowing experience, my friends, one that challenged the very foundations of my understanding of role-playing. How could a character so full of potential be systematically stripped for his essence, his ability to inspire, and his capacity of coolness? The answer eludes me even now. Yet in the face of adversity, I discovered a silver lining. Seraph's struggles taught me the value of resilience and creativity. I learned that sometimes true essence of a character shines brightest in the face of adversity. Though the curses may have robbed Seraph of his charisma and physical beauty, they could never extinguish his indomitable spirit. So, my fellow adventurers, take heed of my cautionary tale. Cherish your characters and their unique quirks, for it is through their trials and tribulations they truly come to life. And remember, role-playing is more than just combat mechanics. It's about embracing the essence of your character and finding joy in their journey. May your future adventures be free from such cruel twists of fate. Stay true to your character, my friends, and let the light shine bright even in the darkest of times. Seraph, the paladin plagued by curses. I have to be honest, I don't know what to make sense of this. This could be taken from like two different perspectives, right? Let's go with the good and the bad. I'd say that I don't want to play devil's advocate, but haha, horns, demon features, I kinda have to play devil's advocate at this point. Let's pretend like it's scenario 1. So let's pretend like Seraph was played by just a fun-loving player that just wanted to roleplay, and DM did not like the roleplay, but the combat was fine. But the roleplay just kind of I don't know, fizzled out. Some DMs can be very weird about character roleplay, and they can be very restrictive, which sucks because, I mean, the whole point of a TTRPG is the RPG. It's a role-playing game. The role is not just the dice rolling, it's playing a role, and sometimes it's part of roleplay as well. So on one hand, it seems like maybe a player that had a really bad experience, but he wanted to have fun anyway, and still found a way to have fun and wasn't discouraged by the DM's terrible decisions or something. Maybe, I'm not fully sure. That is one interpretation. Now, the devil's advocate's interpretation, it kind of seems like this also could be a story that potentially, not a guarantee, but potentially could be from a problem player. Let's pretend like the Seraph was playing the dude in the obnoxious way. It was not much of a addition to the table, more like a disturbance. Let's pretend Seraph was the problem player in the scenario. Maybe these curses weren't actual curses at all, and it's just the game didn't want to have their NPCs interact or respond to something weird that Seraph said. Seraph's appearance didn't matter because maybe Seraph did something weird, like maybe disregard people's consent. I don't know. In the story, anything, it can be interpreted in any way. And this is just the devil's advocate interpretation. And then the conversation about stifling the role-playing potential. Maybe Seraph did something really weird, and instead the DM was like, hey, please cut it out. There were really never any curses, it's just Seraph was just being unwelcoming at the table or was really acting weird. Kinda wanna lean more on the optimistic because the last couple words were very inspirational, but also if you take it from the devil's advocate approach, it also means, hey, other players, just do what my character would do all the time and never listen to the DM because whatever they're doing is dumb and stinky and DM does not know for better. It's a really weird story. It's like a double-edged sword. You know what? I don't think we ever had this kind of story before. It's a story for personal self-interpretation. Actually, y'all that are watching the video, if you'd like to join in, if you want to drop in your interpretation of this story, feel free to drop it down in the comments below. I mean, like I said, this could be well-intentioned, or this could be like a problem player just saying, hey man, just keep doing what you're doing regardless of what the DM says. Even if the DM says, no, you can't murder hobo, just keep doing what you're doing, you know? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you never know with these sort of stories. The context for where all this came from, it's not there. So I guess that's all up to our interpretation of how we see the story. Let me know your interpretation down in the comments below, and I'll get on with the next story. The DMPC single-handedly wins the campaign. We had just completed our 2-year-long campaign. We killed the BBAG and his pet monsters and escaped from the inescapable dungeon. We felt invincible and were ready to end the campaign on a high note and do a short wrap-up session. As soon as we started, a DMPC appeared. A recurring hero NPC had been kidnapped by the BBG's lieutenant, and we needed to go save him from the same dungeon where we had previously been overrun and captured. The recurring hero NPC had a magic ring that made him immortal and gave him a bunch of powers. When he was captured, the lieutenant had taken the ring as a trophy and we had seen him wear it as a necklace. To save the hero, we needed both to get the ring and put it on him. Then he'd be powerful enough to help us finish the fight. I am really hoping the DMPC here is playing the support role and not actually, hold on, what was the title? Oh yeah, single-handedly wins the campaign. Never mind, we're gonna have this moment where the DMPC takes the final win and players just sit on the sideline. Woohoo-wee. After sneaking back into the palace and passing several deception checks, we got back to the lieutenant's throne room. There we saw the recurring hero powerless, defeated, and kept on a leash. The warlock was an exiled member of the lieutenant's faction and tried to negotiate for his freedom, using a cultural artifact recovered from the dungeon as leverage. Lieutenant said the hero NPC is literally his nemesis and initiated combat. After defeating the BBAG, who could cast power word kill, fighting his underlings was one of the most disappointing fights I've had in 6 years of 5e. The lieutenant opened with a 6th level fireball that hit all of us. DM was also using a critical fail table, and since the DPS-oriented fighter had 3 attacks, 6 because of action surge, he critically failed on his first turn and was stunned for the rest of the combat. Lieutenant cast Steel Wind Strike on a second round and knocked all but the warlock and the DMPC unconscious, though was spared because the lieutenant also critically failed and fell prone during the Steel Wind Strike. Wow, okay, what the heck? Fighters that have 3 attacks and you gotta stun them on the first one, it has to be some sort of a rare ability or rare case, but not a crit fumble table. That is the worst. And listen, I used crit success and crit fumble tables. I think they can be really fun as long as they're fair. I mean, the fighter must have had to roll a 1 on a crit fail table or something. I'm not fully sure. Find another punishment. Force them to be disarmed, and they have to use one of the art of the action to pick up the weapon again, and then use third action to actually do some fighting. Because if you stun a player that has all their moves lined up and their main repertoire is not even spells but just how much they can hit and how hard they can hit, you just let him hit, man. That's kind of unfair. If you ever played melee and you get stunned and you have to just wait until the next turn with nothing to do, man, that really sucks. It's almost about as painful when you fight an enemy, you launch, I don't know, let's say in my opinion, Eldritch Blasts, right? You got like 3 popping off, and then it turns out the thing you're fighting apparently resists all magic. It's like, yay, that's gonna be fun. If it resists all magic, all right, let me just use a succubus whip for 1d4 damage every turn. Yeah, wow, I'm so helpful in this fight. I feel great. Fights that completely nullify what you can do, man, that really burns, especially if it lasts the whole fight. It's terrible. Third round, the lieutenant offered to let us go because he had incidentally cured his terminal illness. He mocked us, saying we were stupid to come back. Reminder that the DM would let us montage this and forced us to play this out. The characters all stabilized and got back up to leave the way they came. Effectively, the party was defeated. Then the DMPC's turn came up and a cutscene played out. On the player's turn. Oh. Well, get ready to just T-pose the whole way, watch the cutscene as we have to just wait for the DMPC to do something cool. I hate cutscenes in D&D. Some are cool, interactive cutscenes are fine. The cutscenes where you have to just stand there and wait, oh, they're the worst. The DMPC dashed to the hero, reaching into his pocket, and put the magic ring on the hero NPC. This was the third round, and the DM didn't do this until after the party surrendered. The DM never established that the DMPC had this magic ring, despite that a significant portion of planning was figuring out if he could get the ring before killing the lieutenant. In the post-campaign Q&A, the DM never explained how the DMPC got the ring. We had seen it just around Lieutenant's neck whenever we were previous in the room, and now the DMPC just had it. The NPC, back at its full strength, turned the lieutenant into a statue and cleaned up the rest of the minions by himself. The party had nothing left to do and left the room while the DM continued killing enemies and turned order by himself. Our warlock stuck around and stayed yelling at the NPC, and honestly, maybe the DM too. This was supposed to be my moment. I was supposed to be the hero of the story, not you. You robbed me. The hero NPC turned to him and said, "Careful, warlock, or you may suffer the same fate." Oh man, oh my god, this DM is insufferable. Let the players finish the fight and let them have the triumphant end. You are there to facilitate the game for them because their player characters are the main characters of the story. You can alternatively have NPCs that are crucial or important to the story, but like let the players have the final blow or come up with a solution that will end things miraculously, not have your DMPC just clean up. That's basically just you playing D&D by yourself because your players aren't involved in the fight. It's just you rolling dice with yourself, being like, oh my god, my cool character is finally get to attack and defeat all these hoodlums. They gotta clean them out with full force, and you're just sitting there rolling the table while everybody else just watching, be like, can I go? I don't think I'm gonna be needed for this. Are we done for the day? Do we have anything more for us, the players? No? Nothing? Guys, do you want to just go and just like VR chat, battle bit? I don't know. You just want to get out of here? This DM is not respecting the players' time or their presence at the table. The least you could do is give them, throw the players a bone and be like, hey, there we go. Now y'all can do this. Y'all have the ring. Y'all found a clever way to obtain this ring. And now what you can do is what you can do. And then that final quotation, careful, warlock, or you may suffer the same fate. Go fuck yourself with that, man. What do you get off? You just take away any player involvement at all. Now the players don't give a shit. Good job. You ruined the campaign yourself. That exchange summed up the whole session. Instead of letting us enjoy our victory over an interdimensional supervillain, The DM wanted a final scene against a lesser threat. To achieve that, the DM did an ass pull that invalidated our planning. I love the word ass pull. Resolved the final conflict by himself and played out a combat by himself when the party was literally leaving the room. All of our efforts over the past 2 years ended with the DM smashing his toys together while everyone else watched him from the window. At the end of turn order, we did a quick travel montage of our escape and return to civilization. Everyone described the post-adventure life, and that was the end of a 2-year campaign. It was, to date, the most disappointing D&D experience I've ever had, and I could not agree more. That sounds insufferable and the worst. And 2 years, mind you, 2 years! DM, what are you doing? After 2 years, not like just a couple of months or maybe even under a year, 2 years of playing with these people, the least you can do is give them the final hurrah, the final blowout, the final massive combat. If you're not going to have players involved in this whole thing, just be like, yeah guys, last session is canceled. I'm just going to be playing with myself, and I. We're going to be having fun doing the combat together and save everybody their fucking time, because you just wasted people's time at this last session. This is the equivalent of like blue balling your players at the D&D table. It is the worst. I hate this. I hate this DMPC. I hate what the DM did, and I am mad. I am less disappointed, but I'm more mad and I'm fuming. Ugh. And with that, that's gonna be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.